Hey, what's up everybody? Prospector here with Watcher of Realms. Today we're checking out the Pelagios boss, and it's another new team that I'm going to try to use this time around. This time around, we're going to be throwing Van Helsing in the mix and seeing just how well he does, being one of the best AoE marksmen, it's my own claim, and I'll try to show you how to get this score. But anyways, without further ado, let's dig in. All right, so let's go back here. We will go to challenge again. Pelagios boss is kind of confusing. If you are new, I'm just gonna break this down really quick. For others that are not, just kind of skip forward if you need to. The boss here is basically going to summon out these little spears. Oh, it's not gonna let me show them, but there's little spears. 1, 2, 3, 4, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom. And each time when you take one of those spears out, they're gonna come out of the water and they're gonna strike the boss, okay? Now you can hit the boss directly and get some damage from doing that, although his defense and magic resistance is very, very high. So ignoring defense, ignoring magic resistance, these are all gonna be very beneficial. The other thing to keep in mind is that you cannot place ground units on this map. Also, these guys, these violet octopoids and the verdant octopoids, when you take them out, they will grant you some healing, and they will also grant you some rage regen from time to time. With that being said, there's gonna be waves coming down on both sides. You need to clear out the waves and then attack the spears to get the most amount of damage. That's the basics. In the past, this was the only way to really get damage too much, but now things are kind of changing where we can start hitting the boss. We can do enough damage these days where we can get past the AoE mobs coming down. We can also get into the spears, and then we can also start targeting the boss a little bit. So there's things you can take into consideration, like physical damage vulnerability, decreased defense, magic res reduction. These things can all kind of matter when you're finally hitting the boss now. All right, so we're gonna look at the leaderboards a little bit, and they are going to be extremely dominated by marksmen. You can see there's a Beelzebub here for some control and some more inspiration as well on this top team. Sandra, nicely done. This is a Lady Alex at Awakened level 5 with very nice gear, just in maxed out artifact. Everything is just really well here. So taking that into consideration, Lady Alex is pumping out about as much damage or more damage than Nyx at Awakened level 5. Nyx is one of the best AoE damage dealers in the game, especially for this kind of content. I think that Van Helsing would do a good job as well, but he's gonna need some more awakenings. In mine, I only have Awakened level 0, which is gonna be like most of you guys. Silas, his thing is gonna be taking out the boss in the pre-phase very quickly, and then he's gonna be doing some direct damage to the boss as well. And he's really good at taking down the spears. But yes, that damage that you're seeing there from Silas is just pumping it right into Pelagios himself. Iovar is there as a lord. But anyways, let's go back to the team here, and I'll show you what I'm working with. So I'm going with Iovar. My Nyx is Awakened level 5. Iovar is Awakened level 2. Van Helsing is Awakened level 0. My Silas is Awakened level 3, Diaochan is level 3, and my Ingrid is also at Awakened level 3. I think the A1 would be a really good way to do it. You should be able to get triple S. With this team, maybe not with that high awakenings. I would say Iovar can be A0, Nyx can be A3, Van Helsing obviously is fine at an A0 to A1 range. Silas, A1 is going to be good. Diaochan is going to be the A1, and then Ingrid as well with the A1. You should be able to get the triple S, but you're obviously not going to go too much further over it. That being said, what do you need for triple S? So let's look at the point rewards. You need a 1.87 million score to get that 2500. As you can see, we're overkilling that by quite a bit. But because I'm overkilling it, you should be able to reach certain thresholds to get yourself to that 1.87 million pretty easily nowadays, especially getting a little lucky with some of the marksman pulls. Anyways, Iovar is a Lord skill. That's mostly what he's there for. He has this Lord skill where he's going to increase everybody's damage by up to 45% after 1 minute on the field. All right, so then we have Nyx. Nyx is mostly AoE damage. My Nyx is actually Awakened level 5. She's very strong. She's gonna do a lot of AoE damage, but her ultimate comes around really quickly when you have these higher awakenings. And I think it's the Awakened level 3. Increases rage by 50 when killing an enemy. She's gonna kill a ton of enemies, and she's gonna stay like towards the middle of the match. She'll just stay in her ultimate the rest of the fight. until she stops being able to kill the enemies because the defense is too high. On to Van Helsing. Van Helsing does these mithril bolts, that does some explosions. He also does this physical damage vulnerability of plus 20% whenever enemies are carrying that mithril shrapnel. And you're gonna want, or hopefully get your mithril shrapnel onto Pelagios, although on this boss you can't actually see the debuffs that hit him. Alright, so pretty straightforward there. I think we've all seen a lot about Van Helsing lately. If not, there's plenty of videos out there. And then we have Silas. Silas is going to be bonded as well with Vierna. He's going to be awakened level 3 in this run. Soul Sniping. Soul Sniping is going to ignore 50% of the target's defense. This is going to help us get through that starting phase, the initial phase right away, which gives us more time on the clock to work with. And he's also going to be ignoring defense whenever he hits anything, but mostly it's about hitting Pelagios. Pelagios is taking a ton of damage from Silas directly. And then we have Diaochan here. Diaochan brings out that Song of Sorrow, which is going to be a massive inspiration here coming out of Diaochan. If we come over to Diaochan's basic attack here, it's going to say Song of Sorrow, Serenade of Hope. We're going to run in Song of Sorrow, of course, the whole time. It grants a 25% inspiration to all allies in range, which is going to be 25% of her attack is going to be applied to the allies within her range. So you want to get her attack as high as possible. And that is her goal. And then we have Ingrid. Ingrid has this incredible range, and that's why we're going to be using her here. She 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but every time she does a solar flare, she shoots it all the way across the map. This is going to help us take out those spears on the opposite end. This is allowing me to be a little bit lighter on the sides and be really heavy in the center with the AoE heroes, okay? Well, actually one AoE hero and then Silas as well to open up that section so Silas can attack. All right, so let's get into the match here. I'll show you what's going on and how I did what I did. And yes, I do know that if I was able to get myself a Lady Alex, that my score would be like through the roof, and I wish I could. I'm about 9,000 points away, and when I get her, we're gonna break this boss. Anyway, so we're gonna start with Ingrid up in this top right corner facing left. This is so that when she's hitting this spear, or she can hit Pelagios, she can hit the enemies coming out. She's also, because that solar flare goes all the way across the map, she's also going to be able to hit that spear on the other end. So that's something to keep in mind. Then we're going to go ahead and put down a Silas facing up in the center here with Diaochan putting her Wings of Grace buff on Silas. I'm going to switch her over to Song of Sorrow mode. And then we're going to go ahead and put our Nyx right here. We're going to put Dr. Van Helsing top leftmost section here. And then we're also going to go ahead and put Iovar right here next to Ingrid to help out with some of those spears and enemies coming down. Alright, so I am going to put this in 2x. We're going to go ahead and just as soon as the ultimates are ready, we're going to go ahead and wail on that boss. We're going to get out of the starting phase as soon as possible to allow more time on the clock for us to keep fighting the boss. Alright, here we go. There we go. As you can see, just going to rip right through this guy. And we're going to go into the boss rush phase. There it is. You can activate Iovar. Now at this point in time, all I'm going to be doing is activating the ultimates whenever they're ready. We're just going to spam alt. Keep Diaochan in Song of Sorrow mode. Don't change Ingrid over from solar mode. And kind of just do our thing. It's pretty straightforward at this point. I will show you more about the gear. You don't want to build a lot of regen. You're focusing more on really high attacks. So as you can see, when those spears get taken down, they do come up. I think Mari over here actually uses her powers to pick up the spears once they're taken out and then shoot them at the boss, and they do a big huge chunk of damage. That's where like the brunt of your damage is going to come from on this boss. Pretty cool boss. When it came out, Pelagios was a real pain in the neck because we didn't have a lot of good options. I think it was like months before you had like more than like the top 50 or so getting that triple S. It was actually kind of crazy if I remember correctly. One of the ones that was more of a pain, but things have changed. I did try Lady Mina on this fight. I thought maybe if I could freeze those enemies coming down and then allow Silas to directly hit those spears and hit Pelagios a little more often, that would work out for me. Could not get it to work. She can't hit Pelagios himself, so she kind of just sits there idle, and then her rage doesn't build up enough. I don't know, it just didn't really work out for me. If she had like one more tile in the center that went farther out, I think that we'd be talking. All right, so you can see how Ingrid is shooting all the way across the map right now. And that, not that Dr. Van Helsing needs a lot of help, but any help that he can get, the better, right? All right, so we're gonna activate Nyx. And also you wanna keep an eye on these. So there's a purple one right there. So when that goes down, we're gonna get some rage. Right, we got rage. I think it was the rage, right? Or yeah, the green is the health and the purple is the rage. We're already in that triple S with 1 minute and 45 seconds left. Doing pretty well. You see how Ingrid's kind of picking off on that. We're getting to a point where Ingrid can't quite take it down. Kind of sucks, you know, it is what it is. The enemies get more and more higher health, more and more higher defense and magic resistance as the fight continues. So there is going to be a point where you're not going to really be able to take down all the spears. And then when the more spears that are left, when you switch the wave, the more damage your heroes are going to take. That's the only thing that's damaging him is Pelagios. He's using the spears to hit you. All right. Let's see if we can get some more down. We're at 2.37. Come on, get some more down. 2.42. I had to run it a couple of times to get that 2.5 plus that I did get. But yeah, we're definitely over the threshold where we need to be. You can try a few different things. I've tried putting Ingrid in Diaochan range with Silas below her. And then we had Diaochan here, hoping that the true damage from Ingrid would do more. It ends up not being quite as good as I thought it was going to be, and not much of a difference. Hoped for a lot more there, but it didn't happen. Yeah, there you go. Well, we do survive until the timer runs out, so you can see why it's so important to take down that initial phase as soon as possible. And yeah, here we go, 2.46 million. And we have, where are my scores here? Let's check out the scores. 214 million coming out of Nyx, that can be higher. We have 95.5 coming out of Dr. Van Helsing. That is really good. There's not a lot of heroes that are popping 100 million on Pelagios boss. So, and he's over there all by himself, just kind of cranking away. So I know if he had some higher awakenings, he could do a lot better. Might be something I go on the test server someday and kind of crank away and see what I can get. 87.5 out of Ingrid. She is awakened level 3, but like I said, the whole goal is to help take down those spears going across. The AoE damage from her being magic isn't doing a ton in the last 20% of the battle, so Iovar coming in at 83. This is very good. And then we have Silas here a little low this time at 75.2. Maybe I misclicked them a couple of times, or a little bit of RNG of an enemy passing through and he hit that enemy instead of hitting Pelagios, whatever, you know. But he's still, most of that damage is going directly into Pelagios. Okay, so on to the gear. I'll go over the gear really quickly and then I'll end the video. That way you guys have what you need. Hell's Lament is going to be on Iovar. Attack bonus, attack speed, crit rate, crit damage, and flat attack. That's going to be the goal for most of the heroes here. I do have a crit damage piece here that isn't very phenomenal, and there's a little bit of rage regen on there. I would definitely prefer that if that would be attack speed instead of rage regen, okay? So, but you get anti-air damage plus 8%. It kind of helps out either way. Really got to start crafting again. His exclusive here on the weapon. This is very elite tier gear, guys. Attack bonus, crit rate, crit damage, attack speed. And then attack bonus, crit rate, crit damage, and flat attack. I'm trying to get that attack a little bit higher to help push through the defenses longer throughout the fight. We do have his exclusive artifact over here, and it is also augmented up to an extra 825 attack, so just keep that in mind. All right, so on to Nyx. Nyx is going to be in an Infernal Roar set, and we're not going to go for Rage Regen, just because like I said, she kind of builds that herself once you get to the Awaken level 3. If you don't have the Awaken level 3, you're probably going to want to go Rage Regen. But you're going to be looking at the same thing. Attack bonus, crit rate, crit damage, attack speed, and flat attack through the board here. Left side, attack bonus, crit rate, crit damage, and attack speed. On Wicked Vengeance, same thing on the breastplate. Like I said, it's just that very cookie cutter build. Artifact, her artifact is maxed out with a 550 augment on her attack. All right, Dr. Van Helsing. Soulbond Arcana. This is just to be able to keep pumping up that attack and making sure I have complete sets doing so. Same thing, attack bonus, quad rolls, attack bonus, quad rolls. Quad rolls here, quad rolls here. Same build, just Soulbound Arcana, okay? You can go with Cataclysm if you want to. Might make a big difference, might help out. The anti-air plus 8% damage. His artifact is only at level 10, but I do have an extra 270 augmented in there. Silas, Infernal Roar. You could go Hell's Lament if his Rage Regen is a little bit higher, and you do have very, very nice exclusive pieces for him. But that being said, I don't have that completed set, and Infernal Roar does really well. So attack bonus, quad roll, and then 2 times crit damage with quad rolls underneath them. And then we're looking at the same kind of quad rolls on the left side here with the weapon and breastplate, but go flat attack if you can on the breastplate. I'll say he's right around 15.3k, 417 crit damage. And his Eye of Penitence is not maxed out, but it does have an extra plus 500 attack augmented in. All right, Diaochan. A lot of effort has been put into Diaochan on my account, so to keep that in mind, I've really focused on inspiration gear since the dawn of time, right? Warlord side on left side, high attack bonus is the main priority. It's all you have to worry about. On the breastplate, you're gonna go attack bonus with flat attack. These 2 stats are the most important. HP bonus and defense bonus is always nice as well. Attack bonus across the board on the right side in Wings of Grace or Invigoration set with a flat attack. Other stats you don't really have to worry about. If you're gonna do anything else, you're gonna try to keep her survivability a little bit higher. We're not healing with her, we're just trying to get her as much inspiration out to the other heroes as possible. All right, same thing across the board. And then we have her artifact here, and it is augmented up to 430 and maxed out at level 25. Girl Ingrid, I actually have her in a Soulbound Arcana set. Same situation, trying to keep her attack really high and not trying to worry about whether or not the set is correct or the best for her. Just making sure that her stats are correct. Attack bonus and flat attack here. Attack bonus, flat attack here. Attack bonus, flat attack here. And over here on the left side, we're gonna go quad roll on the weapon with attack speed, and then on the breastplate we want to go with attack bonus and flat attack, and that is because she does true damage. With her doing the true damage from her solar flare, and then she also has radiant erosion, which is also dealing true damage. This ignores defense and magic resistance, so you want that attack to be really high. And I believe that true damage cannot crit, but it is just direct your attack times the multiplier, and the enemy has to take it. Okay. All right, so that's it for the team. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Good luck on taking down the Pelagius boss. As of making this video, have another 11 days, 12 days practically to get it figured out. I know you guys can do it at this point. Sometimes you just gotta try to think outside the box a little bit. But anyways, guys, that's all I have for today's video. Hope you found it helpful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, join the Discord, check out prospector.gg. I've been the Prospector. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, keep digging.